Good morning,
Yes.
Jordan.
Good morning. Welcome. If you're joining us for the first time, um, a little bit about the podcast is, I don't know, Colleen, you're good.
Well, we are two fitness fanatics, and we've known each other for about a decade now. We met a decade ago at Pure Bar, and we love everything fitness, anything to do with working out, movement, nutrition, wellness in general. That is our definite wheelhouse. So we want to inspire people to get out and do whatever they can do to also move and become the best versions of themselves. And if you guys can see, the sign is here.
Yeah, we've been waiting on it.
And our mugs, our
Because
Fit Bells
we're getting
mugs.
all
So,
the merch.
yes, the merch is coming in. So, we have an exciting session today. It's one of my favorite things that I like to do. If you follow me on my Instagram at Colleen Fit Pro, I've been posting recently a lot of different fitness videos on the bow of our boat for an extra challenge with usually at least double, if not triple modalities for an extra challenge and an extra burn. So I would say in the fitness world, there's a couple of schools of thought. You can use modalities or you can use body weight as resistance or a little bit of both. I think Jordan and I are probably in the same mindset that it's great to mix things up and do a bit of both. Wouldn't you say, Jordan?
Yeah. I think there's benefits to both. And obviously, if you're new to fitness, it's just, any of this is going to be an added challenge. So you kind of crawl before you can walk type of thing.
Exactly. So one of the basic things, obviously, as a fitness modality, would be a dumbbell. So here are my trusty 5 pound dumbbells. I have them with me a lot when I train both myself and my clients here in my little boutique gym. But yes, dumbbells are fabulous because you can do many things with them as opposed to a machine in a gym where you're kind of in a fixed position. These allow you to move and generate different momentum, if you will. And of course, there's different weights. So 1 pound all the way up to, I don't know, I think there must be a 50 pound dumbbell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in the gyms, you can go up to like 150.
Oh boy, there you go. So obviously dumbbells are great because, you can do many things with them. What are your thoughts on
I
dumbbells?
am a dumbbell fan. I
Hmm.
think, they're mobile and
Never leave home without them.
yeah, just you can walk with them.
I do, yeah, on the
But
treadmill.
you know what? I'm surprised. There's a guy that works out with me and he also does. He walks out with 12 pound and I'm like,
Ah,
I don't know how he does it, but so yeah, dumbbells honestly one of my favorites because I think they're so versatile at kind of the ways you can work with them. And again, mobile. So if you are traveling or you want to take it outside, that's an option. But you can use them for upper, for lower, for core, even some of those HIIT workouts. You can add them into burpees for a little added resistance to kind of get that heart rate up. So one of my favorites is definitely a dumbbell.
yeah, no, I'd have to say that too. And what I've been doing recently as well is I have been using them to elevate my calves if I don't have my trusty Bosus, which we're going to go to next. You can do many things with your legs as well with dumbbells. So it's not just arms, and as Jordan mentioned, core as well. And we like to do our planks, our side planks, and we also like to thread the needle by scooping up and around with our dumbbell and going up and around and adding that little cinch to the waist to make our obliques look fabulous. So we enjoy our dumbbells for sure. The next thing that I would like to talk about is my favorite thing of the moment are my mini Bosus from Bosu Fitness. These come with me just about every time I travel in my carry-on, and these are fantastic. As you see, they're kind of cute. And I use them for my knees and for my wrists and my hands if I'm doing planking. And I also use them to elevate my legs if I'm working on calves and some squatting work. So these are fantastic. And of course, there's the massive Bosu over here to add for the instability or stability challenges.
And I think these are newer to the market. I think I saw these maybe about a year ago.
Yeah, I've
Which,
had them just about 10 months.
yeah. So over a year ago was the first time I saw them. I was like, oh, but yeah, it's just like a regular boost suit. You can flip it,
Mm-hmm.
which is nice. So again, you can plank from either side to kind of add that instability. Even you could take it down to kneeling.
Yep.
But these are great for travel. And then of course, the big guy, he's an investment. So if you wanted to go a little less on that, this is a great option too.
Yeah, the good thing about the big, huge Bosu to keep it in your home gym is that, again, it's very versatile. You can use it either on, that's what Bosu really means, both sides up.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe Jordan can
Yeah.
flip it over and sort of show you how it looks. We'll move our cute little Fitballs mug.
So
And
we've got the rounded side.
Yep. And so that would be if you wanted to do, I like to do a lot of planking on that, especially forearm planks.
Yeah.
And that gives you a little instability. And then you can also work your core. And I do glute bridges as well with the BOSUs on the stable side. And then the unstable side, that's a real challenge and that's a real burner. You can get on there and get low and do your squatting. And you can also add the weights. And that'll really challenge your core stability. So Bosu, from our friends at Bosu Fitness, I can't say enough great things about the Bosu and the mini Bosus. So check it out. And again, like Jordan was saying, these are absolutely fabulous to travel with. I bring them every time I go on my carry-on somewhere.
Yeah. I think this is a great additive for anybody who wants to do multiple training at the same time. So you want to challenge your core and work upper body. You can always take it down to a kneeling position too on this. Do
Yep.
some bicep curls because it is so unstable. You really have to activate the center core muscles to stabilize.
No, absolutely. It's a fabulous modality. And now here we are, and actually, I'm going to go down to these because my fabulous friend Jordan here gifted me these for my birthday recently.
She loves a glider.
I do. I love a good glider. And a glider is extremely versatile. Here are the gliders that Jordan gifted me. You'll see some of them on the market that are purple and green, but these are the black ones. And you can do lunges with these. You can plank with these. You can also step out and do, I would say, some side work to get your outer thigh and inner thigh. And Jordan has choreographed through the years in many bar classes I have taken with her some amazing glider workouts. So I would say that these are very light. They can come everywhere.
People have a love-hate relationship with the gliders. They are hard. So if, maybe you've worked out on a Pilates reformer, it kind of has the same stimulation because you're on that moving surface. If you don't have these, or maybe you're like, I don't know if I want to invest, a good alternative to kind of start off, if you have like a smooth surface, like wood or a tile floor, to utilize a towel, you can kind of use that. But they are great, kind of to challenge all aspects of the body.
Yes, absolutely. And one of the things I like to do with myself and my clients that I train here in my little cute boutique gym is a lot of work with the core because you can actually reach out with them and come back in. So you're planking, but you're also going in and out, and it helps with a lot of work in the center core and oblique work as well if you're twisting and doing all of that. So these are great. And they're light and they're not that expensive. So I highly recommend them, and they can go anywhere with you. And then the next thing we have are our Versaloop bands. And our Versaloop bands, of course, come in different thicknesses for either light, medium, or heavy. This is a medium one. And this was also a birthday present from my friend Jordan here from my home gym. And this is incredible. Of course, you can take these everywhere. And yes, I do. You can abduct with them. So that means you would be putting them just about 2 or 3 inches above your knees, and you could step out with them. So you're doing a lot of side seat and hip work. And you can also, believe it or not, do upper body with them. They can come on your wrists and you can do a little bit of tricep work, and you can also curl with them and do some bicep work. So they're extremely versatile.
Yeah, and easy to pack. So you can do monster walks. I feel like we need to. I think at one point we're gonna have to do like a demo of all of these the different things. Just get creative, with your fitness.
And also, what I've learned through the years in bar is they can also go around the ankle. So you
Yeah.
can do some inner thigh work if you put them around the ankle and you turn your foot out sort of in a flex position and you circle in and circle out. It's amazing what you can do with these. So those are great, and really they're not that expensive either. So something to have and to think about. And the next is one of my favorite things. If you do follow me on Instagram at Colleen Fit Pro, I have posted a few of my recent workouts on our boat with my favorite Pilates ring. This also comes with me everywhere. And it is incredible. I mean, the things that you can do with this in terms of upper body and lower body, you don't have to be on a reformer. You can do it on a mat. You can do it on a tile floor, a wood floor. There are so many different things. You can side plank with it. You can put your arm down and work your upper body. You can put it in between your legs and you can do inner thigh. So what else do you like to do
Yeah.
with it, Jordan?
We call it in Pilates the Ring of Fire.
Yes, it is the Ring of Fire. That's true, Jordan.
I've taught them with mermaids, where you use them as overhead resistance. And if you're like, what is a mermaid? Come take a class, find out. But it's just kind of challenges your oblique, working your waistline a little bit deeper. Really great for the chest because you have that pressing. And then you can also use it as kind of an obstacle because you've got the inside and the outside of the ring. So maybe like a knee tuck, putting your feet through it, bending your knees back toward your chest, putting your feet over it.
Also, lunging. I posted recently a fitness routine on the bow of our boat using this for the upper body, squeezing it while I was lunging with each leg elevated on my Bosu. So it's an incredible thing, and also not that expensive and light and fairly portable. If you are traveling, it can go in between all of your clothing.
Yeah.
I like to think about things like
Waist
that.
flat.
And then our next modality is the Pilates ball. And the Pilates ball is also a great one. This is extra puffy right now, so it seems a little big, but what you can do a lot with this is push down on it to get your upper body if you're planking, to get instability work if you would like to do a Pilates V, so you would be pushing your legs out in like a wide first position and elevate and work your calves as you're doing some lower body work, and also for side planking as well to push down. And of course, inner thigh, absolutely, coming in and squeezing. And also for core, if you put this in between your thighs as you're down on the mat doing core, automatically you're getting all of that area here and squeezing as you're crunching in and out.
And then you can always place it behind your back for not only support, but also resistance because you're pressing against it. So you kind of want to resist the up and the down. I always think a ball is necessary. It's necessary in any fitness class I've ever taken. I'm like, it just needs to be part of the workout. I think it's a good additive and that there's so many ways to utilize it too.
Yes, and recently in bar workouts, we've been using it a lot for heel elevation to get that instability on one leg, and then lunging or squatting from there. It's really incredible. I talk about burning out your legs really quickly. Adding a Pilates ball for that kind of movement will definitely do that. You will see results on your legs almost within a few weeks if you do this a few times a week, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. And then again, core, you're activating your core because you're on that unstable surface. So you're utilizing the core.
And this is not that expensive. This is our friends at Amazon, probably $10. So you can definitely have this. Of course, this is not one of the ones I travel with, but you can keep it in your home and use it all the time. Now over here, what we have, and I post a lot with this, and again, this is how Jordan and I met years ago. This is from the Pure Barre brand. This is the famous double tube. And when I took Pure Barre years ago, I went right online after I took a class on Pure Barre using the double tube, and they brought this modality in and ordered myself one. I actually ordered myself two, and I'm down to 1.5 now. Which here's my other half over here.
You
which
save the half. That's good.
It becomes kind of my middle thing. Yeah. So, So basically, the double tube, again, I've posted some workouts recently on that. You can do upper body with this. You can do some curls with this. You can use it around your legs. You can use it to spread out and do a wide second on each ankle. You can also really do some overhead presses and work your back with it. It's kind of phenomenal. What have you been doing with the double tube, Jordan?
I haven't used the double tube in a long time, but I do remember. I will say, I don't think there's anything really other similar to this on the market.
No, that's true. I would have to say that.
So it's like, oh, one's too easy, double it up. But it's so great. Also for added upper body, you can put one around each wrist and then add in some weights to make it even more challenging. So you're really isolating that shoulder muscle while you work maybe biceps or triceps or chest. Those are really great. And that's the one thing I miss about Pure Barres. I don't have a double tube anymore.
I don't even know if they sell them online. I got to go back online because I really want to get a second full one, because this one, as I mentioned, it was actually really funny. Speaking of bringing things on vacations, I did bring my 2 double tubes when I went on my 25th wedding anniversary trip to Croatia a year ago, June, on this boat trip. And I went ahead and I took my double tube, one of them, and I looped it around the bow of the boat as I do to pull off and do some work on my legs. And unfortunately, I snapped it.
Oh, you know what?
And it went into the ocean somewhere in Croatia. However, this has now become similar to this, and I can use this around my legs.
I didn't even think about this.
Isn't that
Another
great?
thing we used to do, just because you're on the boat, is take it and loop it around. Let me demonstrate.
Yeah, I know it's hard. We've got to figure it out with the mics.
Like, let's say this is a rail or, whatever. You can set it over here and then thread it through on a bar or a stairwell or something, and then you can use this as added resistance for your core or upper body.
Yep.
I forgot about that, but that's always great.
And then you can get on hands and knees and you can work your inner and outer thigh and your glute muscles by putting that around your wrist on one hand, and this goes back on the leg on the other, and you can do hamstring curls with it. There's so many things. It's limitless. I love this thing. So that's great. And then something that I recently have been adding to my repertoire, I've never been a yogi, I have to admit, but I absolutely do love the yoga block. And this I have been working with, doing some instability work. Basically, I put my clients on one foot on this, and then they lift up the other, and they're lifting and balancing, because really balance and core work go together hand in hand. And as they say, everyone should stand on one leg every day, because as we age, it's really important because falls happen. So to have that stability and work on that prior to a fall, you'll be better off. And I also use it for wide seconds to sort of, when I have my legs out spread, I'll put my foot on that in flex position. And again, I'm working my calf and I'm getting some more balance work. Have you worked with the yoga block at all?
I use them in class sometimes because it is another additive to make it unstable. I've done it in kind of a tabletop donkey press where you have your knee or your shin on the top of the brick and then you're working the other. That way it gives you more leverage to move the working side, but also that instability. So you have to engage your core a little bit deeper too.
And I've seen people also use them for planking. You know, you put one hand down, or you can do a forearm plank on it, or use it in the middle if you're doing a forearm plank, or again, elbow down, and it adds that element. And then the other thing I've seen people do with them, I haven't tried it myself yet, is use it for inner thigh. So, you know, we were talking about the ball for inner thigh, but this is even more challenging because to hold this in between your inner thigh as you're doing upper body work to challenge your lower body and work those inner thighs and quads, it's hard to hold this kind of shape.
Yeah.
But it's definitely beneficial. So those are things. And then the last thing I have for today is over here. This is something that I discovered about a year and a bit ago. And this is called the Stretched Fusion Pilates Bar.
Do you want me to hold the other?
Yeah. So you want to, Jordan can kind of hold it up here like this for me. This is something that you actually are replicating a Pilates reformer, where you can put both legs in these straps. There's two straps here. Let me try to hold this over here. And you can see how it can work. You hold this, and then you're working your legs and working your core at the same time. I also have found some other things to do with it. I've been working my back and adding 5-pound weights by crossing it and putting it behind my back. And I've also been putting it on the ground and doing side lunges with it, stepping on one side and holding weights and pulling back and doing some lat raises with it as well. So it's kind of an ingenious thing, this Stretch Fusion Pilates bar. And I've posted a few things on my at Colleen Fit Pro site on it. And this is not that expensive, so I highly recommend maybe checking it out at Stretch Fusion, and you can maybe get yourself one. And they do offer some videos when you do purchase one, but be creative. The most important thing is to not let the modality freak you out. It's supposed to challenge you, but it's not supposed to make you stressed. Right, Jordan? Because sometimes I'm sure you've seen students get a little freaked out when you add them.
Sometimes I think, if the equipment is more of a distraction than it is a challenge, I always say lose it. Even when it comes to like dumbbells. So you're doing bicep curls and the whole point is to hold your elbow in line with your armpit and you start to see your arms drop. I'm like, then go lighter or lose it.
Or you're getting it in your neck.
So, I mean, it's always great to add in those challenges and just kind of try something new. Cause again, we've always said you never know unless you try, but don't let, I say quality over quantity for sure. So quality of the movement versus quantity. So find that control.
Right. And then body weight is important too. If you just want to use your body weight as resistance, that's something that I learned a decade ago and still continue on with the bar movement. All of the different movements that you do in bar, it's based on very tiny, tiny, small movements. And sometimes, yes, we do add the tubes and the resistance, but sometimes we're just using our own body weight. And it's challenging enough if you're not swinging and flinging your leg and using momentum. So it's really important, for example, with the bend flex, you have to just bend flex like this. It's not, because that's not really doing anything. So you really have to challenge your own self, and you'll feel it. I mean, if you're if you're doing it correctly, you'll feel the burn, right, Jordan?
Yeah.
And if not, then you're just like, let me just get this over with, and then that's it. So,
Uh, so I want to pose the question: if you had to recommend one of
oh
these
boy.
to our listeners, what would it be and why? If they had to choose one thing,
Well, dumbbells for sure.
dumbbells.
Yeah, I have to say dumbbells. If I do not, so that's not one thing, but dumbbells really
Well,
come
yeah,
as a
a
pair.
set. Yeah,
I mean, I cannot, I cannot exist without my 5 pound dumbbells. I do walk on the treadmill with them, and I also add 1 pound wrist weight, so I have an extra 12 pounds really with me. And the fact that you can also do core, you can do roll ups with them. You can, as I mentioned earlier, make them in a horizontal line and elevate your legs to do calf work. They just have so many options. I just can't imagine my life without my dumbbells. But that's a tough question, Jordan,
yeah.
because I love every single one of these things and they all work for me in my workouts and help me get stronger and better. But I have to say, my little 5 pound dumbbells.
I mean, I think from a investment standpoint, I 1,000% agree because I think they have the most longevity and I think they're the most versatile. So if you're just starting out, maybe you're have a home gym or you want to start working out and you don't have any equipment yet, I think the first thing you should invest in for sure some weights, even if they're not super heavy,
Yep.
because you can always be super versatile in your workout with them.
Exactly. And I encourage the clients I train to also go power walking with at least 1 pound weights. Because if you do that, you're constantly working your arms, right? Even just a 1 pound for a half an hour, it can make a big difference in burning more calories and also working your arms. So I highly recommend that. But that's a tough question. I don't know. My second favorite, I would probably have to say I'd go with my ball because you can do so much with this as well, or the tubes. So that's a tough one. How about you, Jordan?
Um,
Bosu's too.
I'm a band girl. I love a good.
She likes a good
I
band.
love a good band. They can break sometimes, but
Yeah.
we don't have them. I love the wrist/ankle weights because
Right. That's what
to
I was
your
just talking
point,
about. Yeah.
I sometimes you have clients and they're like, "How can I get more arm work in?"
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Well, if you slap on some wrist weights, you get like a pound and just wear them for like
Yep.
maybe 50% of your day. Even driving, you'll get some shoulder work."
I do grocery shopping with mine. I go into Trader Joe's and the
Yeah.
cashiers are like, wow, are those wrist weights? I said, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so cool. I'm like, well, okay, thank you.
I know. So, I mean, I mean, you might feel a little silly, but it's like
It
also
does
who
work.
cares? I know it
It
does.
does work.
I will
So,
tell you,
yeah.
driving with those 1 pound wrist weights on, my shoulders like burning like halfway through my drive. So they're a
I
good
do laundry
investment.
with them too, by the way. I
Yeah.
encourage my clients to do that as
Yeah.
well.
And you can always put them on your ankles if you want to
Yep.
switch it up. Walking up those stairs, you're going to activate quads a little bit more because you're lifting.
So we would love for you guys to perhaps who are listening and watching to maybe shoot some questions to us and see, what you'd like to ask us about the modalities or what you have used personally that has been a game changer and you've seen, a change in your body overall from using that modality or two. That would be so much fun. We'd love to read those kind of questions.
Or if you want to see Colleen demo any of these. She's the queen of them.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
At Colleen Fit Pro on my Instagram.
Yeah.
There's a few new videos.
She's got
there.
that, but I mean, I feel like we could sneak some in if
Yeah, at some point we're definitely going to do some demo podcasts here. So
Yeah.
that'll be super fun. So what else, Jordan? What else are you thinking about
Since
today?
we're talking about modalities, have you okay, and I'm just curious. I'm sure we're seeing a lot of this on social media. The weighted vest, okay, which back in the day, I'm laughing about this because I want to say it was probably like 10 years ago. I bought one because I always thought it was a great way to like add on additional resistance, like when you're doing cardio or weight training or whatever. And people would look at me like I was like the Unabomber. People would be like, what the heck does she have on? Like I would get stared at. I mean, I lived in suburbia at the time, but people would stare at me like, what is that?
What does she have under that vest?
I would like walk into a gas station, to go get some water or something. And people like, is she going to bomb the gas station? But you're seeing this trend now where, I mean, it's such a thing. There's so many people buying these weighted vests or like they're out walking with them or they're on, they're doing the stair climber. And I'm like, I have enough problems climbing on the stair climber in my own body weight, let alone adding on 10 to 20 pounds. So I don't know if you've seen this or like, what are your
Yeah, no,
thoughts?
I definitely have seen
Yeah.
the weighted vests. They
Yeah.
seem to be making a resurgence.
Yes.
I personally have not used one because, again, I always have my 5 pound weights with me. People see me at the gym, like, there's Colleen and her 5 pound weights. So I constantly, when I'm doing cardio, on the elliptical, the arc trainer, on the treadmill, I always have my 5 pound weights that I'm holding and doing bicep curls and lateral raises, and then I have my 1 pound wrist weights. But it might not be a bad idea, especially if you walk early, if you're in the South like we are in Florida, because it gets pretty hot and
A little
humid,
hot.
to try it out, because I'd like to see if you actually, I'm sure you do, burn
Yeah.
extra calories. I just wonder how beneficial it would be in terms of not feeling overly too sweaty. You might feel a little dizzy
It
afterwards, especially down here.
it might be something worth a little podcast research. I
Mm.
still have mine, of course.
You
I
do?
do. I actually back in the day they made them. I feel like just for men. I don't know. And if you're like small framed, it's a little hard to like be comfortable in them because they're like bigger than your shoulders. Now they're making them a little bit more women friendly, smaller.
Right.
So I do have one. So it'd be interesting to see, like, do if I do 10 minutes on the stair climber,
Right. If you're indoors with one, I
yeah,
know that's going to be better than being out in the hot sun or the
versus
humidity.
10
Yeah.
minutes with this extra weight on me. How much slower am I going to go? How much more am I going to burn? But it would. I mean, I always like a little trial and errors just to kind of see. But I don't know if you guys have listeners, if you've tried it. What are your thoughts on it? Always interested to hear about that.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I just heard about are sauna raves. Have you guys heard about the sauna raves?
Joe, what is
That's
this?
apparently the new way that some of the younger people are going out at night. They're not drinking and they're just going into these hot saunas, a whole group of them, and there's a DJ playing and they're dancing it up and they're burning calories in that way. And then they're doing the cold plunge after. That was something that I just saw just the other couple of days ago, and I thought that was, wow, that's kind of an interesting thing, the sauna raves.
This
So
is something new to
that,
me.
okay, well, there you
Yeah.
go.
Apparently, I'm not that up to date on the cool happenings.
So that's an interesting one. But I don't know. I mean, I think going into our next podcast, I'd like to try to talk about routine.
Yeah.
Um, we kind of touched on it a bit last week. Sometimes people need a little bit of a helping buddy friend to get to the gym. I see a lot of people when I go to the gym early in the morning working with the same person 4 to 5 days a week. And I've never done that because, as I mentioned in the podcast that we started out with last week, I've always been really motivated with fitness starting at an early age. But, one of those things that you have to just schedule it into your book, same time every day, just like a doctor's appointment or a hair appointment, but also someone maybe perhaps that's a gym buddy or a friend that you can rely on, that if you don't feel like getting up, they text you, they're like, come on, you got to do it, Jane. It's just about, maybe talk about that a bit, or you could ask us perhaps what makes you motivated to continue on your fitness journey or to start one.
Yeah. I think for the next episode would be great because we talk a little bit. I mean, I know we've talked a little bit about like our past, but kind of maybe like our weekly routine. What does that look like? Just to kind of give people a guideline. I had a client this morning say she doesn't feel like she works out enough, and sometimes she works out like 3 times a day, and I'm like,
Oh my goodness, that's
so
even usurping me.
yeah. So I'm like, everybody's different as far as like what they need and stuff. So I always think it's good to kind of, it's like an Us Weekly magazine. Let's pick it up and see what Jessica Biel's doing to get in shape. And sometimes it's relatable and sometimes it's not. And everybody's different. But I always think it's good to kind of get some insight. And we'd love to hear from you guys as well. What's your fitness weekly routine like? What does that look like?
Right. And also talking a bit about diet. Of course, we're not registered
No.
dietitians, but we do read a lot and enjoy learning about all of that and the role that protein plays in muscle development. It's key and it's huge. So maybe touching a bit
Yeah.
on that would be a lot of fun. And if you guys had questions on that or have learned anything that's been helping you build your muscle faster and feel great, we'd love to hear that too.
Love to hear that. And then maybe we'll touch a little bit. I'm one of those, I'm very a naturalist. Like I don't believe in like supplements to a certain degree, but I do believe in like collagen and fish oil and stuff like that,
Hmm.
and kind of talking about what does that look like. Right now for females, a big thing is creatine, because it helps with that muscle retention as we get older.
Right, exactly. Yeah, supplements are fantastic. I myself take a lot of them. So we can touch on that too. And love to hear questions, comments, anything else that you would be interested in knowing about and learning about. And I don't know, we'll just keep chatting. We love this.
Yeah.
We're fitness fanatics, Colleen and Jordan. We are the Fit Bells live here from West Palm Beach. And we're so happy you tuned in to join us.
Yeah.